Hi guys, this is Tembisa Winston Kunene. I'm your group executive of Libertalia Group. Some of you know me as an entrepreneur, some of you know me as a philanthropist, and if you don't know me yet, well, this is me and welcome to the YouTube channel. Yo, so guys, I've been dying to do this for a very long time now. I remember dating back to when I got my first property, and it was such a big thing for me because I was very young then, and it was such a scary move. It was risky, I was overwhelmed, and you can imagine how I felt at that time. But I mean, if you're looking at the stats of South Africa, your first time buyers are like between 28 all the way to like 35, and here I was 10 years behind and taking such heavy risks. So and I had a conversation with my friend the other day. I was like, what, I've been wanting to do this, but I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to do it, because do I really need to do it? I want to do this so bad. I want to share my success, and I want to share how I got my first property, what impact will it really make, because I'm trying to be out here being impactful and stuff like that. I'm really here stunting my achievements and whatnot. So I even thought to myself, it's like one of those entrepreneurs who are still building, who are still trying to make it, still trying to get their first million. They quickly want to write a book about their life history and how far they've come, but they haven't even made that $1,000,000 yet. So it's almost like, why should we rush into sharing our success when we haven't really made it? So I think for me, it was more of a wait. Let's wait until I'm in Forbes. Let's wait until I've had enough publicity for people to start listening to me. And he said something so important, which really changed my mindset about this whole thing of like success and how we view success, especially as entrepreneurs, or whether you're in the real estate industry, in the entertainment industry, wherever you are, you've got this perception of fake it till you make it. Sure, it works for a lot of people, but guys, some people are really getting it genuinely out there, So I thought to myself, if I could share something that really works. Now, this is not a fake it till you make it type of video. As if I can share something that has really worked personally for me. So my main thing that I would like to achieve with this video is I need to get to the minds of especially young South Africans out there, to them, for the South Africans out there who are not risk takers. I mean, for South Africans out there who want to get into real estate, who want to invest in that first property, but they're afraid because of all these narratives that we have around us, all the propaganda that we have. It's the most secured investment you'll ever. The moment you wake up, your neighbor has a house to stay. You have a house to stay. Everywhere you go is real estate. If you look at where you shop for your shoes, for your clothes, for your cars, all of that is real estate. This is the only most secured investment you can ever think of. Irregardless of what type of property you're investing, you could invest in residential, commercial, agricultural, industrial, you name it. So it's important, and these are some of the narratives that I would like to take away. Some people may argue that age doesn't allow me, or I need to be a salaried employee. I mean, I'm too young, it's too risky, I don't want to get into debt too young, it's a liability, it's a long-term asset, and I'm looking for something quick and short. Trusting the wrong estate agents. I mean, it's true, there are real estate agents out there who are very unreliable, but that shouldn't really hinder your progress and stop you from investing. So those are some of the narratives that I'm going to touch on. I need to mention this. I feel like if you want to become a millionaire, real estate is the easiest platform you could use to achieve that. And because of certain things like wealth creation, cash flow, leverage. It's almost like a real life game of Monopoly. If you want to become a millionaire, if you want to make sure that you retire very early in the next 10 to 15 years, get into real estate. But yeah, anyways, like I said, let's get right straight into it. Why real estate and how did I invest in my first property? Just follow the instructions. If you take notes and you listen to exactly what I'm going to tell you, then we shouldn't have a problem. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share. I'm going to be sending more content and more videos to sharing ways to succeed in the industry, in the real estate industry. Whether you want to sell real estate, whether you want to lease out, whether you want to invest, all the content will be right there. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I got you guys. Building your credit score. The one thing that you need to realize is when you go to the bank and they do a credit check on you, they already know your credit score. Essentially, they already have your details. But you now need to go to the bank asking them to loan you so that you can buy properties. It's a totally different story. So they need to assess your spending behavior. How much are you getting into your account every month? Roughly how much you're getting into your account on an average of 6 months, basically, if you're self-employed. So once you have this amount of money, what goes where? So then they look at your expenses. If your expenses exceed more than 30% of the net, of your net from the income that you're getting, then it might be a little bit difficult to convince the bank to give you money to buy a property. And they always try to find that little bit of 30% left over in your account once you've received your income and once you've used up all your expenses for that month. So that's the easiest way to build a credit. Position yourself for a property that you want to buy. Calculate 30% of how much you would have to ask the bank from your salary. 30% of that salary that can remain. Is that amount suitable for the bank to give you a certain figure for a property? So what I mean by this is, if you're getting, for example, 60,000 Rand a month, and you take 30% of that, and you know that you've got 18,000 Rand sitting in a cash flow account, or just sitting there, and you've used up all your expenses, you've provided for your lifestyle, you've paid up all your fees, your costs, and you've got that positive cash flow of 18,000 Rand sitting in your account. You know that the bank, if you had to go to the bank right now and you show them that statement for the past 6 months, that you've had 18,000 Rand for the past 6 months just sitting in your cash flow account, they would be willing to give you as close as up to 1.8 million Rand for you to invest in a property, because that's how I usually calculate it. It's a 1% of the cash flow that's remaining from your income. Guys, like, there's government officials out there who, like policemen, nurses, those guys have subsidies, those guys have benefits from the government, and they're still not investing in property. And I ask myself, why? Like, you guys realize we're sitting on a gold mine. A bank is meant to be your best friend. Like, if you manage your money very well, if you know what to do with the little bit of cash flow that you have in terms of investing in wealth creation, early retirement, using the bank's money is literally the best thing to do when it comes to property. So if the banks will even fund you if you have 3,000 Rand sitting right by your cash flow account, sitting right by your fixed deposit account, or every month you get a salary and you've spent all your income and you've got 3,000 Rand left, the bank will give you, always work it out on 1% of the leftover amount. So if you have 3,000 Rand remaining in your account every month after deductions, the bank will potentially give you 300,000 Rand for a property. If it's 4,000 Rand, it's 400,000 Rand. If it's 1,500, they will give you a home loan of 150,000 Rand. So that's the first thing that you would need to establish before investing in a property. Is you need to make sure that for the next 3 months, I need to make sure that I have at least, if you want to buy a property for 300,000 Rand, you need to make sure that I have at least have 3,000 Rand that will be sitting in my account after deductions, so that in 3 months time when I go to the bank and ask for a home loan, they are able to see that 3,000 Rand cash flow coming into your account and staying and remaining. So those are the very most important things that you need to cater for when looking for a home loan. Obviously, other ways you can build your credit score, like you can go and open an account, a gym account or a membership, or go open a phone account with Telkom, and you need to now show the bank that every month this is how much I'm spending on my expenses. I'm paying. I've got a commitment with Telkom, or I've got a commitment with the gym membership, and I haven't missed my payments for the past 3 months. Now you're basically going to the bank with that profile and you say, look, Mr. Bank, I've had a commitment with the gym, I've had a commitment with the phone contract, I've never missed payment, my credit is good. Now, because this is my profile at the moment, I'm asking you to trust me with your money to invest in a property. In simple words, that's basically what it means when we say building your credit score. You're building a credit score so that you can get the bank to trust you with their money, for you to use it as leverage to create wealth, to be rich, to be wealthy, to be a millionaire, to invest in properties, to invest in a whole lot portfolios of properties. Have you heard of that saying, make sure that you're friends with a policeman, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, and you'll never go wrong? Okay, now this is the saying that I always emphasize when it comes to real estate. Make sure that you are in a friendship or relationship, whatever it is, make sure that you're friends with an estate agent who knows what they're doing. And if you're planning on building a huge portfolio of properties, keep that estate agents right by your side. You know that you have enough cash flow, you have enough income, and you've got a good credit score. Keep that estate agent right next to you, because they're going to show you all the tools, all the deals, and all the information. You have access to a gold mine if you're friends with an estate agent. Because at any given time, you can go to the bank and ask for a home loan to get a bargain off the properties that you've been shown by that estate agent. So that's very important. That would be my second point, is make friends with estate agents. Sometimes they do this on a daily basis. Every day they wake up, all they read is real estate news, all they get is real estate calls, all they get is people's problems. They know which properties are about to be repossessed. They know which properties are about to go onto the market. They know what's happening in the property industry or what's to come. So you can't be busy with whatever main income that you're busy with at that point and still try to balance it with trying to catch up with what is happening in the industry. You need an estate agent to randomly message you and say, hey friend, listen, the repo rate is sitting on 7% right now. It's dropped. You need to start buying a property immediately. They're raising it back in 2 years' time. If you don't buy a property right now, you're going to miss out in 2 years' time. Okay, cool. Let's say you don't know anything about repo rates. Okay, so how does it actually work? These guys are trained on this, so they'll give you that information. You know, some people are afraid to calculate. Do not be afraid to calculate how much interest the bank is giving you. Do not be afraid to calculate how much bond repayment it's going to be. You do not be afraid to calculate how much levies are, rates are, taxes are, all the costs, transfer costs, bond costs. Do not be afraid to calculate that when you're looking for a property, because that will save you a lot. It will save you a lot of money in the near future should you get into the wrong deal. It will save you from getting into financial trouble. I know people that have literally gotten into financial trouble because they took the wrong deals and they were indebted, and the banks actually repossessed their properties. So now, these are some of the questions that you would need to ask your estate agent. Give me the financials for the body corporate should you be buying a sectional title, or give me the financial history the history of the payments for this for this for these rates and taxes for this specific property. And I'm talking about properties that you look at the property from far, you think this is a bargain. You have only done a percentage of that work, because you still need to find out how much the financials are actually looking like. And so it's very important to calculate. And this is one of the things that I did when I bought my first property. Is I calculated how much I would be getting, how much I would need, how much my tenants would need to be paying, and how much I would be owing the bank. A point that I would like to mention is negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. If the bank gives you a pre-agreement of how much they're willing to give you, and they give you that interest rate, go back to the bond originator and ask them to renegotiate your interest. People are impulsive buyers. They get an agreement, or they get an amount showing in a piece of paper, and they are too quick to accept it. Read the terms and conditions. Read how much the bond repayment is. Read how long it will take you to pay off that property, because it's a long game. Ask your estate agent or your bond originator as well to show you a few tricks about building a portfolio of properties. Being that, for example, there's a flexi bond account now, right? So now I'm gonna do a nice proper video with all the practical knowledge, with all the practical exercises on how this works. But essentially, in short, you're going to ask the bank to open an account for you, where you'll be putting in extra money into that bond account while you're still repaying the bond repayment and the interest rates, right? And obviously your tenant will be paying for that bond account, and essentially add a little bit of extra money into that flexi bond account. I'll tell you why in the next video. Just make sure, again, subscribe, don't forget, like, share, anticipate the next video. But I will show you guys how you can build 10 properties in 10 years, or how to build 10 properties in 5 years, depending on how much cash flow we're talking about. Do not be afraid to negotiate. If someone is offering you a property for 500,000 Rand, give him an offer to purchase for 450,000 Rand. If he says no, move on to the next deal. That's it. Just always make sure that you negotiate your property, because guys, it's very important to negotiate, because if you are going to commit to paying the bank the interest rate for 20 years, that 20 years needs to come with a bargain. It's either you're paying 20 years of a long-term debt, or you're gaining, whether it's cash flow, positive cash flow, or it's equity for the next 20 years. So always position yourself for success in every negotiation that you get yourself into. First time buyers make a lot of mistakes, and they only pick up from their second property. So I'm privileged enough that my first property was definitely a bargain, and it's been 4 years now since I've been getting positive cash flow on that property. It's been 4 years now, and I've never had it vacant. It's been 4 years now where even when it was vacant, it was only for 3 weeks, which because it is I had done my research as well. It's a very good area. I've had 4 years of increasing my equity by 4% annually. Now, what does that mean? So it means a lot of things, but in terms of buying your next property, so I can easily now go to the bank and say to the bank, this is how much I've paid you guys for the past 4 years. Can you please do a valuation on the property? So how much is valued at right now versus how much it was valued at when I bought it the first time. So then the bank will come back to you and say, okay, your property is valued at 600,000 Rand, for example. So I can then go to the bank and say, okay, I have paid 200,000 towards this property for the past 4 years. This property, I purchased it valued at 300,000 Rand, but now it's valued at 600,000 Rand. I'm now able to leverage that by going to the bank and saying to the bank, I would like to borrow against my equity of this property. So they'll give me that 300,000 Rand shortfall, right? So then I take that 300,000 rand and I go and buy my fifth property or my seventh property or whatever. That's how people build property portfolios. But again, like I said, that's a video that I'm going to share with you guys later on. I'm going to show you so many tricks. I'm going to show you how you can invest in a property without putting any money down. I'm going to show you how to invest in a property. And we really are sitting on a bargain now. If you look at F&B, if you look at Stockfell, how people get together and they put money into a specific account and then they use that money for a certain outcome. Maybe they want to invest in something, maybe they want to buy something, maybe they want to start a project together. So F&B has launched something similar, and we're going to start seeing a lot of the competitive advantage coming in now with all the other banks offering the same product, where they will allow 12 people to purchase a property on one home loan. So basically a once fixed home loan is borrowed against 12 individuals. So that's something that I'm also going to touch on in some of my videos. So guys, look out. I'm going to be giving you guys some hot content. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Please guys, as much as I'm giving you all this free knowledge, please guys, revert, subscribe. It's important stuff. So yeah, just drop questions below and I'll answer them. Please look out for our website. There's real estate courses as well. If you do want to get into real estate, we will teach you guys everything. We'll mentor you guys on everything real estate related. Just check it out on our website. It's right by the link, and yeah, check